So this is going to be my first video in my podcast series. Or I guess I would call it an audio recording, but really it's a video. So, I'm sweating my balls off here, so just bear with me. So this story starts when I was living in Georgia, maybe about 10 years ago. And, I was smoking quite a bit of meth back then. And I was hanging out with a lot of people that were smoking meth or, ice, as most people call it. So we were smoking ice all the time, and as you might know, ice makes you kind of crazy. So these people that I was staying with, and this was somewhere in the North Georgia mountains, and you would call them hillbillies, I guess. So I started out staying in a trailer park, and staying in this trailer park with a guy named Bubba, of course, right? So Bubba had another friend that I ended up getting stuck with, and it was a lady and her husband, and they were, I was in my 20s, late 20s, and they were like 40, almost 50 years old, and they were tweakers. Yeah, definitely tweakers. They had aluminum foil on their windows, smoking ice all day, every day, which I didn't mind because that's what I was into at the time, So, this one time we were there, and the whole time there, the wife is coming on to me and everything, but, at the time, I had standards, so, I wasn't really into that. And plus, they just struck me as a little weird, The wife was always complaining about her husband, basically telling me how he's always sticking things in his ass. It started out talking about sex, and then she started talking about their sexual relations, and then she said how she didn't really enjoy having sex with her husband because she thought he was a little weird. I asked her why. She said, well, he likes to stick stuff up his ass. And I said, well, what do you mean by that exactly? Can you give me an example? Well, she started telling me that she was walked in in the shower while he was in there one day, and he was in the process of inserting a shampoo bottle in his ass. And now I didn't ask her what size the shampoo bottle was, but I laughed and I was like, all right, whatever, I really believe it, but she seemed pretty adamant about it. And believe it or not, this ties into another story in my life, which you'll hear later on in another podcast. But so we go to the Kroger's, which is the local grocery store there, one day. She's got this big purse, and if you know any tweakers, you know that they love to tell their tweaker stories and start talking crazy to just about anybody that'll listen. Well, some of them do anyway. And this particular lady, when we got to the line at Kroger's, we were waiting at the cash register, and we get up to the cashier, and she starts talking about her husband. And she keeps talking. You can tell the cashier didn't want to have anything to do with her, but she was being polite, so the cashier listened. And so the lady got to the part where she was talking about her husband sticking a shampoo bottle up his ass. And the cashier was sweating at this point, turning red, trying to ignore her as much as possible. People in line are laughing at us. I'm just like, oh, shit. So this lady takes it a step further, and she says, if you don't believe me, look, I got proof. And she pulls out a Ziploc sandwich bag out of her fucking purse with a full-size shampoo bottle inside of it with shit smeared all over it. It looked like shit and Vaseline smeared all over this shampoo bottle inside of a Ziploc bag. And she just held it up for everyone to see. Look, this is the proof. The bastard's got one in right now, I bet he's got one in right now. He walks down the fucking hall bow-legged, that motherfucker. He's always got one in. This motherfucker. Man, needless to say, I was a little embarrassed by that. And, yeah, that's pretty much sums up an average day when I was in the North Georgia mountains up there, hanging out in the fucking trailer parks. Well, I hope you enjoyed that short story. There's a lot more to come. Thank you.